I also, when I'm not working and I'm not trying to get my son to do the dishes at home, then I'm also either at the pool or the beach. And then I also spend my evenings dancing salsa and bachata.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack there. I'm going to have to come back to the salsa and bachata, especially because I am a former Zumba instructor.
Wow. Oh, awesome.
So I love all the Latin dances. I'm a wannabe Hispanic.
Me too.
They have the best music and the best dances.
And the best food and the best parties.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Um, Welcome, everyone, to another episode of The Story of You. We have a special guest with us today, Charlotte Salafia. She is a public adjuster at Top Tier Public Adjusters in Maitland, Florida, formerly known as On Your Side Public Adjusters. Welcome, Charlotte.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Could you just give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself and your profession?
Absolutely. As you said, my name is Charlotte Salafia. I am a licensed public adjuster in the state of Florida. I had to get 2 licenses to do this job. It has its challenges, but it's very rewarding, and I love it. I also, when I'm not doing this work, I have a son who's going to be 21 next month, and he also works with me. And right, and I also, when I'm not working and I'm not trying to get my son to do the dishes at home, then I'm also either at the pool or the beach. And then I also spend my evenings dancing salsa and bachata.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack there. I'm going to have to come back to the salsa and bachata, especially because I am a former Zumba instructor.
Wow. Oh, awesome.
So I love all the Latin dances. I'm a wannabe Hispanic.
Me too.
They have the best music and the best dances,
and the best food and the best parties.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So real quick, for someone who may not know what a public adjuster is, can you just give us a brief description of what a public adjuster does?
Sure. So what I always tell everyone is that when a homeowner files a claim on their house and their claim gets denied, or if they feel like the claim hasn't paid out enough, they contact me. If they feel like there really is something there, so they contact me, and I represent them to their insurance company to help get their claim paid or supplemented.
Okay. And you're in Florida.
Yes.
Do you handle, I know you said your main office is in Maitland, which is near Orlando.
Yes.
But what's your territory?
Florida.
The whole state, anywhere in Florida.
Pretty much. Well, mostly where we end up is kind of like the little triangle between Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa. We do go a little further south, and sometimes we'll go outside of that, but mostly that's the area we've covered so far.
Okay. And how long have you been in this field?
I've been in this field for 2 years.
Okay. What'd you do before that?
I was selling aligners that straighten teeth.
Wow. That is quite a change.
It is quite a change, but I have construction experience.
Okay. What's that like? What kind of construction experience?
So my first job in construction was I worked for Centex Homes when I lived in Phoenix, Arizona. And I was pulling permits and making sure that everything that they selected to be in the home was included in the file. And then here locally in Orlando for 6 years, I worked part-time for a contractor in his office, just kind of managing all the papers.
Okay. So how did you get into public adjusting?
It's funny because when I was working at Smile Direct Club, I did okay there, but I didn't see it really going any further than that. So I was starting to think about what would I like to do? What's my next step? Where do I want to go? And I felt like it was insurance, and I thought it might be sales, but I wasn't quite sure. So then coronavirus hit, I got laid off, and I'm still thinking, do I want to get licensed? Do I not? And then I started running out of money, and I was like, well, I need to do something in the meantime. So I decided to take a temping position, and it was here at On Your Side. So I started out at the bottom, like I started as a temp, and there were only 2 or 3 people in the office at that time. So they liked what I did. And I believe in the power of manifesting. I feel like when you put that out there in the universe, that you get what you want back. So I felt like I put out there that I wanted something professional in insurance where I could do well for myself, where I could make a name for myself, and that I could help people. So this is where I landed. And I feel like it was the universe bringing it together. So I was hired for this job, and I just started by calling insurance companies and following up. And then eventually I started filling out paperwork, and then I added on to it by writing estimates and learning how to do the job. And eventually I learned how to do the job and got my license.
That's excellent. Well, that is an inspiring story of both how you just ended up there through looking for a temp job to pay the bills while looking for something else. And it turned out to be a perfect fit for your skill set and your interests, and give you the opportunity to move up into a very fulfilling career.
Absolutely.
So that's a really inspiring story, especially for people who may be in a transition period themselves, that kind of hang in there and it'll work out.
And that's why I'm glad that you asked me to do this, because I wanted to share that, like, these are the possibilities. I mean, I got laid off my job like everyone else did, but I didn't feel like it was a bad thing. I felt like there was something better for me.
Yeah, absolutely. What is this saying? I'm not going to say it right, but something about closed doors and being
opening windows or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But, that's been true in my life too. When things didn't work out how I had hoped or planned, usually something better comes down the road. And I'm thankful that what I wanted wasn't fulfilled, because
right.
What came later was better for me, and I just couldn't see it back at the time. So your son works with you.
Yes.
How is that? Is he a public adjuster, or does he do something else for the company?
Well, he took over what I was doing so that I could move up.
Nice.
So he's calling insurance companies, filling out paperwork. He's learned how to do estimates. He's, very similar role to what I was doing. He was working on his license, but, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him jump in it and swim. So,
yeah.
He does a great job here. I knew he would kill it. He did. Everyone, thinks he does a great job. And eventually, if he does decide to go the adjuster route, I think he would kill it too.
That's great. And I actually work with my mom too. She is, she's been my legal assistant for years. She was my office manager. So we have a good work dynamic, but not everyone does. How is it getting along with your son in the work environment?
Well, we get along at home pretty well. So, I mean, there's always the, trying to get him to put away the dishes and that type of thing. But outside of that type of stuff, we are very honest with each other. And I'm the type of mom that, like, I want my kid to be better than me. Like, I want him to grow. I want him to get out the gate good.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't mind helping him get work here, because I knew I could trust him to do the work, and I knew that he would excel, and he has. And so I always wanted him to have his own voice and not make him feel bad about anything he wanted to do or say. So like I wanted him to feel confident. So he does feel confident about, like, if he has something to say to me, it's not uncomfortable, he says it, and I'm the same. So we get along at home. So we have created our own natural boundaries here at work, and we honor those. And like, we've agreed not to talk about home stuff here, and it works.
That's great. And that's wise to make those boundaries. So tell me, where are you from originally?
Well, my dad was in the military. So I was born in Germany, and I grew up on military bases, mostly in the South. And then when he retired, he returned to Florida, which was my parents' home state. They grew up in Sarasota. And so I kind of feel like Sarasota is a home base for me. Like, my heart's there. And then I've lived in Georgia, England, Washington, D.C. area, Phoenix, but Florida always felt like home. So I've been here since 2012.
Wow. So you've been all over the place. How long were you in Germany?
I was just there till I was 2.
Okay. So you don't have probably a lot of memories from there.
I don't know. Just pictures.
Yeah. So you said Sarasota is where your heart is. What about Sarasota is so endearing to you?
Well, it's when you're a military brat, you don't have a home. Like when people say, where did you grow up? There's no simple answer for that. My simplest answer is my dad was in the military. And people who understand that don't have to ask anything else. But people who don't ask questions. But wherever we lived in the world, we always went to Sarasota to visit my grandparents.
Okay.
So it's kind of, that was the only consistent place throughout my whole life.
So I can understand then why it would be special, because you went there consistently, and your grandparents were there, who it sounds like you had a lot of love for.
Yeah. And they have the most beautiful beaches.
They do. They really do. I have family who lives over in that area too. Beautiful island. There's just so many beautiful beaches over there. So then tell me a little bit about these hobbies. How'd you get into the salsa and bachata dancing?
Well, about 25 years ago, I took ballroom dance, just like a little bit. And I loved it, and I wanted to continue. But at that point in my life, I just didn't have the finances for it, because I'd chosen like one of the dance studios that charges a lot of money for that. So ever since then, I've always wanted to do Latin dance, but life and career and relationships and money and all that. So at the end of the year, I was like, what do I want to give myself for Christmas? Because since I went through a relationship change, I got divorced last August. But it's been since before that we separated. So I've been by myself for a couple of Christmases with my son. So I just give myself a gift. And I was like, what do I want to give myself this year for Christmas? And I was like, something I've always wanted to do is Latin dance. So I bought myself like a few lessons. I have a friend that wanted to go. He's like, his husband wouldn't go with him. I didn't have a partner. So we're like, let's do it. So I bought the lessons, invited him along, and we had a great time. And I fell in love with it. I had already been interested in Latin culture. So it kind of this was just like another, pearl on the string. So I talked about that with a couple of people, and they're like, oh, you should go to this dance studio. Everybody goes to this dance studio, and you can take really affordable lessons. So I started going to the socials every weekend, and then I started taking lessons. So I take lessons 2 nights a week, and then I dance two nights on the weekend.
Wow. That sounds like a lot of fun. So just out of curiosity, where do you do the socials? Because I may want to check that out sometime.
Oh, yeah. Salsa Heat on Friday nights, usually.
Where's that at?
It's, they have 3 locations, but the main one where they do most of the socials is on Colonial, next to the bowling alley.
So my husband will never go with me, I'm sure. So
he doesn't have to. There's plenty of guys to dance with.
Awesome. That was something I used to do Well, I that's one of the reasons why I love Zumba dancing is for the exercise, and it's fun, and it's you don't need a partner. So
Right.
you can do it by yourself and enjoy the Latin music. And it was what I did through law school was I taught Zumba classes in the evenings
Awesome.
and weekends and loved it. And I continued teaching it all the way till I got pregnant with my oldest daughter. And I had horrible morning sickness that
Oh no.
morning sickness is a misnomer. It was all day sickness for me. And that's when I quit doing it because I was so sick for several months and
Wow.
I couldn't teach. So
You're going to hate me when I say I never got sick when I was pregnant.
I definitely do. I definitely do. I, yeah, I mean, thankfully it was only for like the first trimester.
That's good.
But it was not good. I remember in my office, throwing up in the trash can.
Oh my gosh.
Because I couldn't make it to the bathroom in time. Um, it was not fun, but, so that ended my Zumba career as an instructor, but I still love to go to the classes. And for me, there's just an energy in that type of music and that type of dance that is just
Yes.
invigorating and like brings me to life. So
Yes,
I love it.
absolutely.
So you mentioned a bunch of other hobbies. I was trying to write them down, but I didn't catch them all. What are some of your other hobbies?
Well, I mean, when I was in college, I was a fine art major. So I love art galleries and museums. I don't produce anything anymore. I have a lot of friends that still do, and I stay in touch with them. But I don't really produce anything anymore. But I still really enjoy it. I also enjoy theater, which is hard to find people to go to theater with. But I also like concerts. So I listen. The last concert I went to was Jack Harlow. I think that's where I got coronavirus.
Oh, geez.
He's a rap artist.
Oh, is that why you're a Thug Life?
Yes.
I saw your coffee cup. Is that from him?
No, this goes way back to Tupac.
Okay. I got to hear that
So
story.
I've been listening to rap music since the 90s consistently. And so I've just always enjoyed it. It's not what people expect when they meet me.
No, I would not have guessed that.
But I've always enjoyed rap music. I like funk music. I just like really soulful music that like is real and raw. And I feel like funk music, rap music, reggaeton, bachata, like all those musics just like are very passionate.
Yeah. So you sound like an artistic and passionate person,
Very.
in all of your different endeavors. So that's exciting and admirable. So as a public adjuster, do you have any particular success story that stands out to you that, obviously can't share details or things like that, but any client that you've generally related to or that you've been able to help that has really made the job fulfilling for you?
It's always fulfilling when I get to call a customer up and say, hey, the insurance company is going to buy you a new roof. And it's funny because I was talking to, in our company, we have different people in different roles throughout the process. So we have our onboarding team where they get everybody started, and then, everybody plays their role through the process. And I was talking to the onboarding team the other day, and I was like, people get really emotional when we get in these mediations, and they're like, really? I'm like, yes, if you think about it, like, I'm talking to this guy the other day, and every time he like sits on his couch and he lays down, and he looks up, there's this spot on the ceiling. And it's almost like a constant dripping on you. it's annoying, and it snowballs, and they get really emotional about it. Like, when am I going to get this taken care of? It's just hanging over me, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really satisfying when that person who's had to deal with these, problems for months finally gets the roof that they deserve, because they've paid for this policy, month after month on time. They've done their part, and they're waiting for insurance to do their part. And it's really satisfying for me to have a role in helping them get what they deserve.
Yeah. And probably especially for roofs, because that's probably the most expensive repair that someone would ever have to do to a home, is to replace their roof. So, and most people, that's not an expense that we usually plan for or save for or prepare for. So, to have your services to help them to alleviate that need and concern, I can see why that would be very fulfilling and rewarding.
Absolutely. If you look at a policy, it's like 60 or 70 pages long. Nobody reads all that stuff. They don't understand it. They don't ask about it. And when the time comes that they need it, they find all these surprises in their policy, because the person that sold them the policy doesn't explain everything. They explain the basics, but it's up to that homeowner to read that policy. And most people just can't get through that language.
Right. Absolutely. You get like a 1-page declaration page when you sign up for insurance. And then sometime later in the mail, you get the 70 pages, and, who's going to sit and read that?
Right.
I do now that I'm a insurance lawyer, but I never did before. I don't even know if I would have understood it back then. I probably wouldn't. So
yeah, I just had a customer that had a deductible that was almost $8,000. He's like, I didn't even notice they slid that in there.
Right. Yeah, because people, their number one concern is usually how much is the premium. And so, if the premium is right, then they're usually going to agree to it and not fully understand what coverage comes along with that. So
right.
So yeah, having someone to interpret the policy and tell them what it says, what it doesn't say, that is also a valuable service that you provide to your customers. So, I've dealt with, other public adjusters in my field, and it's predominantly a male profession in what I have experienced. Has that been your experience as well?
Yes, absolutely.
And so, noting that you're a female and you're building your career in this industry, how has it been for you in building that?
Well, it takes a lot of confidence. It's I brought this book because this is a really good book I recommend any woman and every man read this, but it's called Rage Becomes Her.
Okay.
And it's by Soria Kimali. And it just talks about how from day one, when women are born, we're conditioned to be a certain way. And we're not conditioned to be go-getters. We're not conditioned from day one to, move outside the boundaries like men are. So you have to have extra confidence to move forward in a man's world and in a man's career. So it didn't matter what any males said about what I was doing. I just knew what I had, and I had to believe in myself. I didn't need somebody else to believe in me. I had to believe in me. And that's all I needed. And there were some times that I had to kind of step over one person to talk to another person to get what I wanted, because I wasn't going to let anyone hold me back.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that is an admirable personality trait to have have your mindset on your goal, and to know that you have what it takes to excel and to keep overcoming the challenges, whatever they may be. And it sounds like you've partnered with a company where you're working that has, given you that opportunity.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome as well, that they have promoted you through the ranks like they have, and given you the opportunity to excel and to reach your full potential in this field. So it sounds like a great partnership where you have, overcome the obstacles that come your way, and found a company that appreciates you and your skill set. And you may even have a unique approach to some things as a female, and a different skill set than what some of the other public adjusters may have. So that's value you bring too.
Yeah, I feel that. Thank you. Yeah, I feel that is too. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity that they have given me here, because, as soon as I got hired, they're like, yeah, we'd like you to get licensed. And I'm like, I'm all for it. And so I worked extra hard. I worked extra hours. I worked extra stuff. I did things outside of what was technically my job, because I really wanted this and I had the drive for it. And my goal for women is to also have the drive for whatever it is they want. So if there's ever a woman around me that wants any type of coaching, I'm happy to offer it. I've invested in coaching since 2007. So I've been doing a lot of personal development. I have my own personal coach. I have a health coach. I do a lot of reading. I have conversations with like minds. I look for my tribe. And so I want to be that tribe for someone else as well.
That is so inspiring that you, number one, I just want to say that to invest in personal development for yourself is so important. So many times it's tempting to get into a place of complacency and just maintain the status quo. But for someone like you to be committed to continuously improving and educating yourself is incredibly important, and and valuable. To you're continuing to grow in all these different areas and improve as a parent, as a woman, as a business person, just in all these different fields. And now that you have learned so much, and to want to invest that into someone else, that's heartwarming as well. It shows your heart to not just, receive the blessings that people have bestowed on you through their teaching, but now to give back to others in such a meaningful way is that's just an awesome character trait that you have. So do you have any mentors that you have, kind of taught some of these things to yet, or are you still on the lookout for someone to take under your wing?
Well, I mean,
mentees. I'm sorry, mentees. I meant to say.
I knew what you meant. I meant what you knew. No, I naturally mentor people who are open to it. So there are a couple of people in the office. We've grown from just 3 or 4 people in an office to now 15 people. So there are a lot of people who are doing it's grown so much that what I used to do is parsed out into several different jobs now. And so I've trained all these different people. And when they want to be coached, I'm there to coach them. So if there's something, whether it's professional or personal, men or women, I'm there to coach them. I had one of my coworkers in here just talking about personal stuff. And we touched on a point that we both had a similar experience in an area of life. And so it was, not only is it a good connection for people in the office, because I think team building is important. So it helps us trust each other and know each other better. But it was good for him to know that, somebody else has had this experience and has gone through this very weird thing. And I'm interested in the people that she mentored with and the books that she read about it and the places that she went to get information about it. So it's kind of, I'll mentor anyone. I've recruited people into working here. Some of them work out, some of them don't. I recruited Brianna, who works here. I think she's just a firecracker. She's got more drive than so many people I've ever seen. Like, she's just like an amazing person, and her background, I'll let her tell you her story one day, maybe. But she's truly inspirational to me, and I wanted to foster her growth. And so when she started working here, I was really thrilled, because that gives me the opportunity to help her grow as a person and as a worker and all around.
That's so nice. And it is fulfilling to help people to come realize their potential. And they need people. I saw Steve Harvey just the other day, who was in tears on a TikTok episode where he was showing appreciation for a couple who had helped him before he made it big, and because of their investment in him and help in him at that young age, like, he has the utmost respect and love for them, because they helped him in that time and helped him, guide him on his path. So, you never know who these people are that we're meeting every day, and having the opportunity to bless them and help them, what their potential is and where they may go in life.
Right. My everyday mantra is to leave people better than when I found them.
I like that.
And it can be the simplest thing. Like, I hold the door open for somebody when I walk in, or I smile at them, or I have like a little interaction with them that's positive. Like, just little things like that make big things.
Yeah. Well, that I think that probably also flows over into your work and why you have been so successful. Because if you have the kind of heart that values people and wants to help people, you're not only concerned about your own benefit, but about their benefit above all. That's magnetizing. People want to work with someone like that, who cares about them and puts their interests as a top priority. So I think that personality trait and the empathy and the heart that you have will take you far in this profession.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I was considering creating a coaching program, or just if people wanted coaching, called Sovereign Women, because women kind of come from a little bit behind men. Like, we have to work a little harder than men. That's just life. And I just want all women to appreciate that they are sovereign, like that they are important, because just simply for the fact that they exist, and they don't have to be attached to anyone to have value. They're valuable just because they are who they are.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's true. Everyone is valuable.
Absolutely.
So to help encourage women and give them that extra, confidence to overcome the challenges the same way that you have, your story can inspire them, but also the advice that you have learned through your own personal development. So I would encourage you, get it started, start a Facebook group, start making the steps. And that's what people have told me, like, just set a date and do it,
right. 100%.
Start. And you may not, you start wherever you start with however many people you have, but then, you grow it and it goes from there. So I think that's a worthwhile endeavor, and encourage you to do that.
Well, I appreciate that.
So, where do you see all this taking you? If you could have everything your way 100%, then where do you see yourself in the next several years?
Well, that's always an interesting question to me, because having grown up the way I did, like, I'm a very go with the flow type of person. And one of the other adjusters here, he's very soft-hearted, and that's sweet. He very much attaches himself to the outcome. And one of the things I'm trying to help him with is you can't be attached to the outcome. You present the facts to them and you let them make their choice. And that's it. And so I'm very much like, I have ideas for things that I would like to do. You know, I'd love to be closer to the beach, just like everybody else on the planet. I'd like to live closer to the beach. I'd like to spend more time out there. But I just want to enjoy my life. Like, I'm at that point where my son's almost 21. He still lives with me, but he's pretty much on his own. There's nobody else I'm responsible. I like 15 years ago, I was a housewife staying at home with 3 kids and a husband. And now I'm like almost empty nester, making some decent money, enough to enjoy my life now. And I'm going to do just that. And so where I see myself is I'm just like really happy where I'm at. Like, it's really hard to describe. Like, I'm just happy. I like my career. I like my life. I like my relationship status. Like, I'm single and happy and I can do whatever I want. So I see myself traveling a little more. As far as my career, I'm going to stick with this. I love this. I absolutely love this. This is one of the most satisfying jobs I've ever had. It's lucrative. I enjoy the money. I'm not going to lie. I love the money. And I also want to remain a constant source of inspiration for my son, so that he can see that, you know, he saw me as a housewife when he was growing up, and now he sees me as a successful woman who is running her own life and not having to depend on other people for anything. Like, you know, it's good to have relationships, but like, I'm my own person and I manage me, and I see myself just staying in this career, helping other people get where they want to go, if that's what they want to do, and enjoying my life.
Well, your happiness just exudes from you. So it is very apparent to me that you love your life. And I love to see that, because, you know, we hear such negative things every day in the news and the media and things like that. So, you know, to meet someone who is so in such a place of contentment and looking forward to the future is just really encouraging and inspiring. It makes me be like, yeah, you know, like I need to appreciate, you know, my life and where I'm at and the blessings that I have, because I have a lot to be thankful for as well. So, you know, the fact that you are really enjoying and appreciating where you are in life is amazing, because so many people, it's like they're never in a place of contentment yet. And then years later, they look back and they're like, why wasn't I happy then? Like, I should have been happy. Like, I had a great job. Like, I had, you know, a beautiful home. I had, you know, I had all so many reasons to be happy, but I wasn't, and I didn't appreciate what I had at the time. And now those years have passed. So, you know, for you to be really appreciating the value of what you have is exciting, because, you know, that's, you know, you're doing what we all should be doing, which is appreciating, but also you still working towards bigger and better things. You know,
Right.
you know, like I'm happy, so I'm just going to, you know, chill. You know, you're like,
Right.
you're trying to now help other people.
Right. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. You keep going and growing yourself, but also now bringing along others so that they can reach that same level of contentment. So,
right. And I also, one more thing that I wanted to throw in there, like I started this career 2 years ago. I'm 57. It's never too late to start a new career.
Yeah, that's important too. And that is, I'm glad you shared that, because there are a lot of people, I'm sure, who feel like it's too late for me. You know, I'm stuck where I'm stuck. I'm not really fulfilled in this place that I am, but you know, who's going to hire me now in my 50s or whatever. So, and that's even an extra kudos to you too, though, that you have grown to the place you are in such a short period of time, that, you know, that not a lot of people in that age range start a new career and have the kind of success that you've had. So, that's keep going. You go, girl. Like,
you too. Like, I admire what you do. I admire,
thank you.
I peeped your video of you and your daughter singing a Christmas carol together.
Yeah.
That was adorable.
Thank you.
And they look like lovely girls. And
Sometimes, yeah.
they're very talented. And like, it sounds like you enjoy your family life together. And that's amazing. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm in that place that you described where you were, a few years ago when you had, the kids at home and a lot of family responsibilities. I've got the two girls that you saw who are 10 and 11, and then I have a 2-year-old boy. So,
and a career.
Yeah, and a career. And they all keep me on my toes. So I look forward.
You're the best.
Yeah, like I truly love these years, and I try to, like you, appreciate the season in my life that I'm at now, because I know when they're older, I will cherish these memories, and they're so fun and they just bring so much joy to life. But also too, hearing where you're at in life also sounds like a wonderful season too, where some of those responsibilities are off lifted a little bit because the kids are, self-sufficient and can kind of do what you want to do. Like that sounds exciting too. So, I look forward to that season as well. So, well, it has been a pleasure getting to know you and talking to you. Do you have any kind of final thoughts you'd like to share? Or if people want to find you to engage your services as a public adjuster, how would they get a hold of you?
Well, right now on Google, we're still On Your Side, but we'll be changing over to Top Tier Public Adjusters. It's a great company. I have a lot of integrity in my life, and I always prefer to work for companies or individuals who have companies that have a lot of integrity. And I really believe in this company. I feel like I've helped build this company. I believe in the owner. I believe that his intentions are always above board. And we do business the right way. We have a heart. And so On Your Side, or Top Tier Public Adjusters, as it's known, I can give you the phone number for our office if anybody wants to call us and get started. We generally, most of our referral sources are roofers. So if any roofers are listening, we certainly can help you with your claim needs, but also individuals that feel like they want, because we'll give an honest opinion. If we get on a roof and say, no, you shouldn't file a claim, we'll say that. But our phone number is 407-593-3914. And if you just want to talk to somebody about how you can get started, anybody who answers the phone, we have a team that answers the phone, customer service team, they can help you get it to the right person.
Okay. And for insurance claims, you focus mostly on roofs?
Yeah. So most homeowners claims are roofing. There are other things that happen, fires, that sort of thing. But mostly what we handle is roofing claims at the moment, commercial and, but mostly residential.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for being here. It's been an honor and a pleasure to hear your story. And it's been inspiring to me, and I'm certain that it'll be inspiring to anyone who listens, especially to women who are at really any season of life, because you've kind of been through it all and overcome the challenges of each season. So thank you again. And with that, we will go ahead and sign off until next time.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really loved it.